Now we bring on ARCA driver out of the AM Racing stable, Kole Raz. Thanks for calling on to the show, Cole. Hot start for your ARCA season, and not easy feats to say the least. You get through Carnage in Daytona and the overtime finish in Phoenix to secure a sixth place finish in each. How does the consistency early on at two different style tracks feel for you?
I feel like it feels pretty damn good, honestly. I feel like consistency is key within this series for sure, and just trying to get my feet wet, right, of going to these bigger racetracks and to your point of going to Daytona and Phoenix, I was really looking forward to Phoenix, and we just struggled pretty heavily the first half there in March and made good swings throughout the race, but ended up salvaging a sixth place finish. I felt like, but man, Daytona was incredible, and almost survived it. We survived the race portion, but the cool down lap we got to work on a little bit because we got caught up in that. But
Yep.
no, it's been really good so far this year on the national level, and went to Pensacola there with the East opener, and I feel like we had a good shot to get ourselves a victory there, but just came up short to 18. And man, that's a tough group to beat anywhere you go. So it was a good experience so far, and looking forward to this weekend.
Gotcha. Yeah, appreciate you touching on each of those races. Um, Going back to the Phoenix, those restarts, as you know, are nuts. And
hmm
anything you can take besides being extra aggressive going the next time you go there?
Yeah, that was the big thing I wanted to focus on. After my first race with AM back in November of last year at Phoenix, that was the one thing I really lacked on. And coming from the late model world, like the biggest difference for sure, obviously you got dog leg involved, but any ARCA race and anything moving forward, top three series, you got traditional box restarts where in the late model world we have more of a rolling start. So just getting more repetition and being comfortable launching quick and aggressive from the box is something I'm working on, and felt like we made improvements up until the last restart where just had a poor choice to spin the tires there at the end. And once you start fanning out throughout the dog leg and into one, it gets very hectic, but there's so much time to be made and spots to be gained. And felt like we had a good chance to honestly get ourselves to top five, if not top three, on that last restart, but we just got together with a few other guys, and kind of the rest was history. But man, that place is nuts. I mean, it's you got to be up on the wheel on restarts, or you're going backwards. So definitely a unique experience there.
10-4. I appreciate you going over the specifics of those. You mentioned the race in Pensacola, ARCA East, first race of the season there a couple weeks ago. You led laps in that race. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, Max Reaves would get past you late. Know that you wanted to win. How did you feel leaving the track Saturday night?
And it was a mix, definitely a mixed bag of emotions. First and foremost, like I was extremely proud of my guys. I mean, Pickle and Curly, everybody at AM did such a great job. I mean, they had never been to Pensacola with the ARCA car, and Pickle himself, my crew chief, has never even seen the place before. So we all really put our heads together and gave my input from track characteristic wise from the late model realm of what that place is like, and felt like we really unloaded with a good piece. And with the resources and the information that the 18 and the 28 car have, and the amount of times that they've been running there, I was really proud of how we stacked up and was able to contend, and that's really all you can ask for. But obviously, finishing second is never an easy pill to swallow, just because we're all showing up wanting to win, of course. But
Exactly.
we brought home a clean race car and a good points day, and to go lead laps is definitely crucial. And the more and more we do that, I think we can finally find ourselves in victory lane at some point this year, and just kind of get a little bit better there.
10-4. Sounds like something you can build on. You will be back in the ARCA East seat this Saturday at Rockingham. It's been a long time since NASCAR has raced there. Have you had any seat time there, and what are your expectations?
So I've never been around Rockingham. I went to the Xfinity and truck test just to watch with the AM group with
Okay.
Harrison Burton, and that was pretty eye opening to see, and just seeing the fresh repave and just how they're running, and obviously the speed. I mean the speed is unreal. There's a lot of throttle time there at that place, and something I think for the ARCA cars, I mean, I don't think we're going to be out of gas very long. So I think it'll be a pretty good show. And honestly, my biggest hope, and we'll learn Friday night, is if that place can widen out at all,
Okay.
which I think it will, just with there's going to be so much rubber put down Friday night, and something we're going to have to adjust for on Saturday. But that place has so much history, right? And I'm so glad it's finally back. Excuse me. You know, it's so much history and a place I grew up watching, and to have it closed down for so long. And I'm just glad it didn't get, too tore up as it sat. But I think it'll be a really good show for the fans. I saw it was finally sold out, so that's awesome. And hope the 3 series will put on a good show there.
As a race fan, totally feel the same way. But very excited for Rockingham. Happy that you mentioned that repave was watching the charts and everything from the truck and Xfinity practice. Really crazy to see those trucks run a little bit faster compared to the Xfinity car. But it says a lot about the repave as well. But I appreciate you touching on that. Next ARCA series race is the following weekend in Talladega. After you have the confidence from Daytona with the first race getting a top 10, how are you feeling looking at Dega?
I'm ecstatic, honestly. I know I have little to none super speedway experience, but I feel like our package was really dang good actually at Daytona. We just couldn't we struggled to find the right help, and being a few of the only 4 teams out there, and was left over at the end. It was hard to find the right help, and Venerini and PGR. I know PGR is kind of the same boat with us, but Venerini and whatnot have so many friends out there, and it's hard to beat that. And thankfully Daytona worked out the way it did. Um, but man, it's going to be all about finding the right help at the right time, and hopefully you can survive the carnage. And I think if we can bring a similar piece to what we had at Daytona, I think we're going to have a good shot to contend for a win. And it's kind of surreal to say, honestly, going to a place like Talladega for the first time. It's just these AM guys have really good hot rods, and I think we're all finally clashing together in the right way. So I'm definitely excited for these next 2 weeks.
Gotcha. I really appreciate you going over that. Can't wait to see what you and that AM team will bring.
No, it'll be good. Just gonna be a lot of good watching for the fans, and hopefully we can put on a good show for everybody.
Heck yeah. Really appreciate you coming on, Cole. Best of luck, man. We'll be watching you this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anytime.
Yep. Thanks.